always came up second to Jay and DMX and all these other people. Like,
ain't no shame in that. There a lot of folks came up second to Tom Brady.
He never had that type of influence on us, except for his first album. I already told you, I used to want to dress like Nas because he had a lot of fresh clothes that the hustlers used to wear, and we used to see him on TV. He had one of the illest albums of all time. And then in high school when he had the barbecue and shit like that. So I'm a real fan of Nas, but he kind of lost me after the movie Belly-ish.
Jim Jones pulled up to Shannon Sharpe's podcast and dropped a bomb. He claimed he's not just relevant, but more influential than Nas. Not just a little shade. He said he's more important to the entire culture. And the second those words left his mouth, everything shifted. 50 Cent didn't throw shots directly, didn't even mention names. Instead, he posted an old federal transcript on Instagram and let the internet go wild. Fans are now digging into wiretaps, resurfacing dusty clips, and suddenly, Jim's on Instagram live in the gym, yelling into the camera and hyping up diss tracks like he's training for a Rikers Island showdown.
I'm in the game still rapping at a high capacity. If Nas wants to smoke, come in the booth. I will rap circles around.
He don't want no smoke. He enjoying that 150 million, 200 million.
Okay then, so then leave me alone while I'm on the field.
You was effing with him. He wasn't bothering you.
They don't really know who Nas is. If he's 22, he's born in 03.
Not all of them.
But let's be clear. This isn't just about Nas, and it's way deeper than ego. This feels like 50 Cent sending a coded message to the whole industry, reminding them who's really untouchable and why certain people always seem to slide past indictments with no scratches. Jim might have lit the match trying to prove a point, but now he might have sparked something way bigger than just rap beef. There's a reason why Jim Jones even mentioning Nas always hits different. That tension ain't new. It didn't just pop up overnight. This wasn't some out-of-nowhere generational diss. Their drama traces all the way back to 2002 when Nas randomly went off on Hot 97 and started dissing Cam'ron, calling his album trash for no solid reason.
Never got to, see Nas. I never got to sit down and have a conversation with Nas and things like that. I had called you about it and things like that. That was like still one of the people that I never got to have a conversation throughout my history of rap and things like that. I think I would love to have a conversation with Nas. I wouldn't know if he knows it, but Nas was one of my all-time favorite rappers coming up and things like that.
I've heard you say that.
Since the barbecue and things like that. Like he really put the whole dope boy rap, crack hustler, get fresh rap into perspective before anybody.
That moment set Dipset off, and Jim Jones, he dove in head first. From that point on, things got messy. Nas and Dipset started exchanging subliminals through mixtapes. But Jim made it personal. He even threatened to smack the kufi off Nas, and kept that same savage tone on tracks like We Fly High. It wasn't just about music, it got real. But here's the twist. Jim actually used to admire Nas. Just a year ago, he had nothing bad to say about him. Then, everything flipped. The vibe changed fast when Jim appeared on Fat Joe and Jadakiss's podcast. And Fat Joe decided to stir the pot. That little moment could have died on the timeline. But Jim wasn't finished. He couldn't wait to double down and talk more. Jim didn't just say he was more relevant than Nas. He went a step further and claimed he was more influential than him. We're talking Nas, the Queensbridge legend behind Illmatic, God's Son, and King's Disease. The same guy still packing out Madison Square Garden in his 50s like it's nothing.
I want you to Nas, and I don't care what nobody say. I know I made a little boo-boo when we talk about the sales and all this type of shit. I don't feel like getting into that rhetoric about where I started and where he started.
Well, you said that bullshit.
But listen, Nas was nice when I was in high school. When I was in 10th grade, Nas came out. Nas was dope. We appreciate him. He had a little...
But Jim? He stood firm. No stuttering, no walking it back. He meant every word. That first interview didn't just stir the pot. It kicked it over, set it on fire, and walked away before the smoke cleared. But Jim wasn't done yet. He pulled up to another mic, this time on Shannon Sharpe's Nightcap show with Chad Ochocinco Johnson, fully ready to double down. Instead of clearing the air, he threw even more gas on the fire. And Shannon? He wasn't letting anything slide. He opened that convo straight to the point. And what came next? Had fans literally pausing the episode just to process what Jim said. Just when it seemed like Jim was about to cool off, he spun the block with another bold claim. He brought up that old Dipset versus Nas drama from the early 2000s and said something wild. He claimed he was a bigger Nas fan back then, but now he's surpassed him in cultural impact.
Start buying baggy your clothes, big fella.
Nah,
You
hey.
too big, man.
You talk about you in the gym. Now you want to get me? You want me to see me in the gym?
Oh, we can do
Since
that.
you like to talk that ish, now come see me in the gym.
We talking about
Come
working
see
out?
me in the
What
gym.
we talking about? Working out or strength?
Working
What we
out.
talking about? Working out or strength?
Work however you want to do it.
We talking about
Since you got money,
and we talking about
put your
working
money
out,
where
I
your
burn
mouth
you.
feels.
So you talking about working
Run
out, I
them
burn
stacks.
you. You talking about working out, I burn you. You talking about working out or strength? Because you probably can lift a lot more than me.
Whatever.
You're bigger than me. You're probably stronger than me.
Whatever.
But if you talk about working out, I burn you.
This ain't what you do. This ain't what you want. You are doing good when you talk about Nas and Jada. You don't want to see this.
Jim started deflecting by praising Nas's style, calling him one of the flyest ever. But every time, he circled back to one main idea. Nas don't influence the streets like I do. By this point, Ocho Cinco was just sitting there soaking it all in, letting Shannon and Jim go head-to-head like it was a verbal boxing match. Then it got tense. Jim looked at Shannon and said he felt like he was only brought on for views, and that hit a nerve. Shannon exploded. He clapped back like, "This the biggest podcast you ever been on," and the room shifted. But Shannon wasn't just talking. He flipped the whole vibe. Host mode off, opponent mode activated. If Jim wanted smoke, Shannon was ready to take it to the gym, literally. Because when Jim looked him in the face and said he was better than Nas, Shannon didn't just come for the lyrics, he came for the whole body. Check this. When 50 Cent dropped that subtle bomb on Instagram, Jim Jones didn't clap back with bars. Nah, instead of addressing the heat head-on, he tried to swerve the whole convo into a gym flex. He challenged Shannon Sharp to a workout war, like doing squats and push-ups was gonna prove he still got influence in 2025. But while Jim was busy showing off curls and cardio, 50 was already 5 steps ahead, moving in silence, making his next play behind the scenes.
Like, if it was like Jim Jones, imagine putting a pen to paper to write about him. He was so nice. He was so nice about him. How did you do that? What's the first sentence? What the fuck do you write about him? I'm not anxious to hear the Jim Jones diss record. Like, I'm like, yo. The used to have so nervous was like B.I.G., Pop, right? Even Cannabis, like Eminem, used to have you like, if we go at it, dog, we gotta go hard. You know what I'm saying? But these Jim Jones, like, I respect you getting your money. You're like, exactly, right?
And that Individual One label, still lurking heavy in the background like a shadow you can't shake. Meanwhile, the internet was going nuts. The comment sections were on fire. Viewers were clowning Jim while hyping Shannon like he just stepped in as Nas' bodyguard. One fan wrote, "Shannon did what Fat Joe and Jada should have done." Another one dropped, "Jones, you delusional. Shannon, thank you for bringing it up." And that's real, because why were Joe and Kiss so quiet when Jim first started talking spicy? And 50? He was just watching it all unfold like a villain in a luxury suite. He wasn't laughing with the crowd, he was plotting. But just when people thought the drama was cooling off, things turned petty again. That's when fans brought back that clip. The ultimate disrespect. Back in the day, Nas didn't even acknowledge Jim's shots. He laughed him off the stage. And now in 2025, that same energy is back on loop all over socials. But hold up, it gets deeper. While Nas stayed silent and Shannon hit the weights, another player stepped out from the shadows, 50 Cent. The moment 50 caught wind of Jim saying he's better than Nas, he didn't waste time. He didn't drop a verse, he didn't do an interview, he just laughed, and then pulled receipts. Real ones. He revived one of the most whispered about rumors in hip-hop history. With one savage move, 50 reintroduced the infamous Individual One label. That nickname ain't random. It came straight from a federal wiretap during the 2018 Tekashi 6ix9ine and 9 Trey Bloods trial.
Video of 50 looking terrified.
I'm hiding out in Texas. Please, whatever you do, don't tell them I'm in San Antonio. Don't tell them I'm staying at the Four Seasons. Don't tell them, please, just don't tell them. because there's just so much pressure on me right now. I don't know what to do.
Prosecutors played a call where someone was allegedly telling gang members to violate Tekashi for snitching. The name Jim Jones never came up in court, but Individual 1? That's who they claimed it was. His voice was never confirmed and he was never charged, but the streets, the blogs, and 50, they never let it slide. So when Jim started flexing on podcasts and trying to bait Nas into a lyrical war, 50 saw the perfect moment to strike. He reached into his IG vault, pulled out a meme he once posted and quickly deleted, and reposted it. Like clockwork. You remember the meme, right? The one that said, "So that's why they ain't pull him in. Say it ain't so, Jimmy." Straight up viral. Rewind to 2019, when the Shade Room posted a courtroom update from Tekashi's federal case. A verified reporter claimed Tekashi named Jim Jones as a 9 Trey member. And guess who jumped in with a comment? 50 Cent, of course. Then came the infamous video, 50 looking fake shook, eyes wide like he just saw a ghost. He even captioned it, "I'm afraid for my life. I mean, Jimmy is gang gang." The internet was howling. But behind all that laughing, Jim was watching and twitching. But here's the twist. This ain't about Nas. 50 didn't start this beef because of Nas. That drama with Jim has history. The Nas moment just gave him the perfect excuse to reopen old wounds and drag Jimmy's name back through the digital dirt. Flashback to 2007, when things first got ugly. 50 brought Jim Jones and Juelz Santana on stage during a G-Unit concert, right while Dipset was falling apart internally. Cameron took it as the ultimate disrespect. It looked like 50 was throwing salt on Dipset's open wounds, publicly. Fast forward to 2019, right in the middle of Tekashi's court saga. That's when Jim Jones got labeled Individual 1 on a wiretapped call played in federal court. Even though he was never charged and his name wasn't officially on the indictment, the streets ran with it. The snitching rumors started flying, and 50 kept fanning the flames. Jim saw it all, every petty post, every shady caption. At first, he stayed silent. Then he hit back with a photo dripping in classic Bird Gang-era Dipset vibes. Vintage jackets, Harlem energy. The caption? "Why you keep lying? LOL, I'm going back to sleep. Free male matrix till it's reversed." That was no random shout-out. Free male matrix was aimed at his longtime homie who's doing over 11 years on racketeering charges. Jim was making it very clear. He stands by his people, and he's calling out 50 for twisting narratives online. But Jim wasn't done. He doubled back with another Jim flex, this time with a slick caption, throwing shade while lifting weights, trying to prove he's unbothered, still strong, and still standing. Somebody better tap Shannon sharp on the shoulder and let him know. Don't start ducking now. Jim Jones is calling him out loud and clear. "You gonna talk like a podcaster or walk what you talk? 'Cause my sneakers tied up tight." That's what Jim said, daring Shannon to step up. "You already challenged me in front of the world. Now finish the job, champ." Ocho Cinco tried to cool it down, saying, "Let's do it in private." But Jim ain't having it. He said, "I know Shannon's rep as an athlete is on the line, but as long as Ocho's the witness, we not ducking no challenges. Size don't matter where I'm from. Run it." And while Jim's out here calling for push-up wars and bench press battles, 50 Cent's still chilling in the shadows, watching the whole thing like a proud villain. But Jim, he's not backing down. He's going all in. He even posted this wild message. "If you 40 and up arguing with me about Nas, you already lost." He doubled down again, saying, "Y'all fell for the bait. Every time I go viral, my streams shoot up. I'm teaching these older artists a lesson in marketing. Y'all stuck in yesterday, mad at the way things work today. Tighten up." And that caption? It said it all. I said what I said. P.S. I'll wrap circles around any artist from my era. Whoever dares to step into the booth, bring some money, 'cause this game ain't free. We outside, in the field. Take that how you want, but we working every day. But the wildest part? Nas hasn't said a single word. Not a bar, not a tweet, nothing. Jim keeps calling him out, keeps baiting. keeps yelling about who's more influential, and Nas just keeps letting him spiral. And the fans? They're not buying it. They're saying Jim's doing too much, that he's trying to market a beef Nas doesn't even acknowledge. Meanwhile, 50 is still pulling strings like the ultimate puppet master behind the curtain. And if that unreleased wiretap really exists, Jim might have just talked himself into something way bigger than a rap battle. Because while Jim's out here lifting weights and spitting threats, 50's been real quiet. Too quiet. And when 50 gets silent, that's when the bomb drops. So now the only question left is, will Nas finally step in and end this with bars? Or will 50 let the streets finish what Jim started and leak the truth when it's already too late to run? If you're feeling the drama, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Juice Alert. We'll be back with more heat. See you in the next one. Fire!